Hey guys, what is up? Alex Scott here with Consordini.com. Thank you so much for checking out another one of our super cool studio gear reviews. Today we are taking a look at an amplifier. This is the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe George Benson signature model. This is a very, very cool amp. It's an amp that actually my assistant here at the studio, his name's Callum Bear, he works under me, helps me produce stuff. He's awesome. This is actually his personal amp, so he's, in addition to being my assistant producer, he is a gig guitar player. He tours all over Colorado with a variety of bands, kind of specializing in funk, R&B, classic, hip-hop, all that kind of stuff. He's an awesome player, and this is his weapon of choice, at least at the moment. So this is a very, very interesting amp. Basically, Fender and George Benson got together and decided, well, how can we make the Hot Rod even better? Now, Hot Rod Deluxe is one of the most iconic amps of all time. Everybody's heard one, used one. They're awesome amps, but they had some characteristics that Fender wanted to kind of tweak a little bit, and they did so with George Benson's help. So, taking a look at the top here, you have pretty much everything that you would expect from a normal hot rod. Volume, drive for the second drive channel, treble bass mid, presence. We do have that classic Fender spring reverb in there, master volume for the drive channel. But we do also have this normal and bright switch. On the back, we do have a cab extension, and then on the top up here, we have in for a second power amp, foot switch, which does come with a 2-channel foot switch when you buy it, and then a direct preamp out. So it's a super versatile amp, and based just on the top, it's not all that different from a Hot Rod Deluxe, but where the difference really lies is internally, how they've set it up. So it has a Jensen C12K speaker in it. It is a 112 and it is offset, so that's going to give you that classic Jensen sound. Now, it also has a slightly different preamp configuration. Instead of two dual 12AX7s, they replaced one of those with an AT7. So it changes the gain staging a little bit. It basically gives you a little bit more headroom before the preamp starts to break up. It gives you a lot more in terms of wide open, clean, dynamic head range, as opposed to kind of running up against that tube saturation really early on in your gain structure. You are going to be able to push it further, get more volume out of it, with it still being really nice and clean before it starts to break up. So this makes it great for R&B players, soul, jazz, anything where you're not looking for a ton of tube breakup really early on in your gain. This is going to be a great amp for those kinds of applications. Now, of course, it has the drive channel, so you can push the tubes, and it can get pretty crunchy, and we'll hear that in a second here when I start playing through it. But it's really just designed to have more headroom and overall be a more dynamic and versatile amp than a normal Hot Rod already is. So very, very cool. I love the design. It's a 40-watt amp, which in use it is just a little bit quiet. If you're playing really big stages, you're playing with louder drummers, you might want to look into something with a little bit more in terms of oomph, in terms of power behind it. But what it might lack a little bit in volume, it does make up for in awesome, awesome tones. This thing sounds absolutely fantastic. So I've got my Variax here. I don't have any of the modeling turned on. I'm basically just using it as a Strat. So I'm going to go ahead and start. We're on the clean channel, and everything's basically at noon. Treble, mid, bass, presence, all at noon. Reverb's at 3, volume is at 4. I'm just going to go ahead and play a little bit so you guys can hear the clean tone on the amp. Okay, so there's some clean tones for you. Let's kick it over to the drive channel. And then we'll kick in the more drive switch, pull the drive all the way up, and see how that sounds. Okay guys, so there you go, Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, George Benson edition. Such a cool amp, such a versatile amp, really, really great sounding amp. I love using it in the studio. I think that it just sounds great on tape. You know, there's certain gear that works really, really well for live, and you just love it live. And then you bring it into the studio and you're like, once you capture it in all that detail, it loses some of its luster. And then there's gear where it's kind of the other way around, you know. It sounds amazing in the studio and you just can't stop listening to the track that you made with it. And then you get it on stage and you're like, well, it doesn't really, I think this amp would work great for both applications. I mean, again, depending on who you are. You know, Callum has told me that using it live, he struggled a little bit with the volume and kind of keeping up with the rest of the band. But that's mainly been in contexts where it's like bigger, more powerful bands doing like R&B and gospel and music that's a little bit louder. You know, if you're somebody who plays in a jazz group or a jazz trio or something like that, if you do coffee shop gigs, I think that this is an awesome amp that's going to do really, really well, particularly for quieter styles of music. But more than that, I do think that if you're a studio player and you're looking for a really great sounding combo amp that's just going to sound killer on tape, this is going to be a really, really great amp for you, a really, really great option. Now, it is not the cheapest amp. It is $899 new. It's about $900 USD. Callum got it used for a few hundred less than that, I believe. I'd have to double check with him on the exact price. But, you know, it's definitely a little bit up there in terms of cost. There are definitely combo amps that are a little bit cheaper out there. However, what it may not be in terms of price, it is very much so in tone. I think it's a great sounding amp. You know, we've used it on a number of records so far. I love to play the Rhodes through it. I hook the Rhodes up to it all the time. It sounds absolutely killer. Really can do a wide variety of styles of music. You know, obviously, like any other Fender, you're not going to get the insane, like, Mesa Boogie, triple rectifier, ultra metal, you know, that kind of sound out of it. But that's, you know, we all know that Fender amps really don't do that, at least this kind of breed of Fender amps. You are going to be able to get some really great, like, hard drive country tones and classic rock tones out of it, as well as, you know, all the way down into that kind of clean territory. It is a George Benson signature after all, so for jazz players, for R&B players, for soul players, anyone like that, it's going to sound absolutely fantastic. Again, especially for recording applications. For live as well, if you're doing quieter gigs, but for a recording amp, it really can't be beat at the price as far as I am concerned. So, you know, there you go. If it sounds like something you guys are interested in, I would definitely recommend checking one out. I know Guitar Center carries them. I don't know if they have them in all of their stores, but I would imagine if you look around either between them or a mom and pop shop, I'm sure there's somebody in your area who would have one in stock you can go check out. But just a really, really cool amp. So 2 thumbs up from me. But what do you guys think? Have you used this particular amp before? Have you used any of the other Hot Rod Deluxes, the classic one, the more modern ones? Whatever you guys may think, definitely leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Love hearing from you. If you have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so. We definitely appreciate it. And if you want to give this video a like or a share, that is awesome as well. But in any case, my name is Alex Scott with Consordini.com. Thank you so much, as always, for checking out the video, and we will see you in the next one.